Welcome back to Sparks of Joy Studio. In today's video, we will be starting off by painting several different items that are in my stash in this color Plaster by Fusion. And I'm doing this for a very specific reason. You'll find out very shortly. If you are new here, my name is Natalie and I am the owner and creator behind Sparks of Joy Studio. Welcome back to my channel. I love doing all kinds of thrift flips and DIYs. And in today's video, we are featuring Sonnet's Maker's Box. This is one of Roy Cycles papers from the most recent box from Sonnet, Sonnet's Maker's Box. If you did not know, this is her last box for year one of her Maker's Box. And what's coming up is going to be pretty amazing. So if you are not yet a member of the Maker's Box, if you don't have that subscription, you definitely want to check it out. There are a lot of new things coming to the box for year two, and the price is the same. So definitely worth giving it a look. All right, I cannot find anything that fits these beautiful images. So what I'm going to do is I have my book. It's already been painted with 2 coats of Plaster by Fusion. And I'm going to have this be the bottom part of the cover, but I have to get it cut off at this part, or I have to somehow remove this and come up with a new way to make a title here, which I have a plan for. But the first thing we need to do is I'm going to get my little artist brush and we are going to pull apart just this section. I think what I will do is probably stay underneath this set of flowers. I feel like that's a good breaking point. Because then if I want to use this for another project, I can, and it has that flower there, so it works perfect. Oops. There we go. So I think the first step here is I'm going to go ahead and decoupage this on, and then we'll work on the top part and what we're going to do with that. I'm going to be using my Fusion Decoupage Gel, and as you can see, it's definitely starting to dry up on me, so I want to get it used up. I've found that with Royce's paper, the Decoupage Gel from Fusion, as well as the Liquid Patina from DIY, both work very, very well. So both of them are just fine to use with these projects. I think I'm going to start from this side. I am leaving a little overhang, and that is because, oh, I didn't even realize this. I think what I'm going to do is leave it like this for now. I know that that cuts away some of this, but I'm going to let that be. Because I want this to kind of go into the book almost like it's a cover. So I'm going to create my little starter strip and mist my paper, and we're going to bring it over. As you can see, I'm not using like a white with this. It is a kind of a light yellow, creamy white color, and it still works very well with Royce's paper. And it actually brings a different tone to the decoupage piece than if you were using like a stark white. So, and look at that. I didn't even notice it until I lay it down, but look at the design that's so subtly underneath. See, this is just gorgeous. Look at that. Now I have some texture on my book from when I sanded it, and that is kind of what's making it a little bit, not more complicated, but it's just making it a little different to lay down. It's not going on as smoothly, but as long as I don't have those wrinkles, I'm okay. I did end up bringing it a little further over, as you see, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of the decoupage medium across the top before I move on. I'm going to continue that process of laying down that decoupage medium and then very gently bringing down the paper and then covering the top of that paper with that same decoupage medium. I do must my paper as I work my way down and around the book. This is called Le Fleur de Guide. That is the name of this decoupage paper that came exclusively in Sonnet's Maker's Box. There is another one that comes with it, and then you also get 5 different paints, 2 from DIY, 2 from Sweet Pickins, 2 from Fusion, and 1 from Sweet Pickins, and they all coordinate beautifully with the paper papers that you will receive. There are also 2 of Connie's papers from the Painted Photographer that are included in this pack, and Sonnet always includes a freebie. So I definitely recommend you look into this amazing box because not only will you get all of this, apparently there's more. I allow that decoupage paper to dry overnight. And now you see I have a piece of painter's tape across the top. I do want to cover up and protect that decoupage paper. I was a little nervous that I was going to rip the paper bringing it up, but I'll let you know I didn't. And I'm going to take Sandy Blonde, which is one of the colors that came in Sonnet's Maker's box, and I'm going to cover that top strip around the book and the entire back in this color. I do dry my paint between coats. That is one of the wonderful things about the DIY paint. You can use that heat gun to dry it, so it helps your projects go a little bit faster. I don't do that with my all-in-one paints because they do tend to bubble. I am going to go ahead and give this book 2 coats. I do end up coming back a little bit later on in this project, and I paint just the insides of the books to help it look a little more cohesive. I made sure that my paint was dried very thoroughly, and I did not seal it yet because I want to do this next part while the clay-based paint is still the way it is, I guess. I am going to be creating the back of this book first. I'm going to use another piece of that decoupage paper that we were just using on the front, and I'm going to create kind of like a title on the top, and then underneath it, this is a part of the ephemeral type stamp set by IOD that I feel makes a really good back to any book you are DIYing. It is something I've seen Erin from the Provincial Farmhouse use many times, so this is definitely not my idea, but I thought it worked really well. And I do believe that one of the words at the very top of that title in this specific stamp is flower. So I think it works perfect for this project specifically as well. I am positioning it onto my book. You can see I'm checking several times to make sure I have an even kind of straight edge there because I don't want it to go on crooked. And I'm going to do my best to center it on the back of that book. Now I'm just finding some other embellishments from that decoupage paper to place around the back of the book. I have kind of made sure that I tore them away from the decoupage paper in a way that would fit perfectly around this text. As you can see, I've switched over to my liquid patina. That is just because I had it out for a different project within this video, and both would work. And the best part about both liquid patina and the decoupage gel by Fusion is that they can also function as a sealer for your paint. So I am using it for both purposes in this project. My last step was to make sure that I finished up the front, so I decided to use the same word flore. I think that's actually Latin because I know it's not French, and I am going to place it as the title on the front. I am using the one of the IOD stamp sets. I believe is it letterpress? I believe it's letterpress. It comes with a set of 3 different styles of fonts. They're kind of like medium sized when you consider the newer ones that have come out more recently. And I'm going to place that across the top of this part using black ink. And then I'm going to use 2 of the little kind of embellishments from the Apothecary label stamp set. That comes with the mini text. I'm going to use 2 of those embellishments to kind of wrap around the side of my wording. I do use IOD Stone Gray for those embellishments. For my next project, I'll be using one of Connie's papers from the Painted Photographer, and it is, I believe, Nestled in Time is the name of this paper. It is a gorgeous little nest of eggs with some florals and greenery around it. I looked at this and couldn't figure out where I was going to place just a nest with eggs on a project, and then I figured it would look cute on this little burlap bag. I got this off of Amazon. I got it in bulk back around Christmas time because I was using it for a craft fair that I was preparing preparing for, and I had this little extra one left over. So I am going to get my Decoupage Gel by Fusion, and I am sticking something inside, as you see. I was looking for something plastic that I could put in there just in case some of the decoupage medium came through. I didn't want my bag to stick together. So I'm just going to be really careful about that. It is also why I am painting or not painting, I'm putting the decoupage gel on the back of Connie's paper as well as on my burlap bag. I do this because I want to make sure I don't make it too thick on the bag, but also because I want to make sure that it adheres pretty well. I am decoupaging onto a fabric, which will suck in or soak up some of the extra decoupage medium. So I wanted to make sure it was permanently adhered. It takes several hours for this to dry. It was also misted, so that is another reason why it probably took longer. But I do, after I get this part done, set it aside, and I honestly moved on to the rest of my projects and came back to this towards the very end. Next, I will be using some milk paint. This is Artichoke by Sweet Pickins, and it is a gorgeous deep green. I really liked this color. I always feel that I'm always a little bit surprised by how the milk paint colors come out. Sometimes I feel like they're a little too dark for my liking, but this one I felt was like perfect. I am going to take 2 tablespoons of this and equal parts of water, mix them together, and then set it aside for a bit, and then I will show you the project we are painting. Look how much I have left. Here is this little jewelry box, dresser, I'm not sure. It is made out of wood, and my mom had gotten it from a friend, gave it to me, and I really loved the style and shape of it. Not so crazy about the colors or the patterns that are on it. So I am going to pull out all those drawers, and we are going to cover it with, I believe I end up using cast iron by Fusion. I did this part of the project several weeks ago, and now I'm coming back and actually finishing. Before I do that, I do need to clean up my entire jewelry box because it is very dusty. Here is that jewelry box now painted in cast iron by Fusion. I painted all around the outside and the bottom. I did not get all the way into those drawers. I was trying to be mindful of the how much paint I was using so that the drawers wouldn't stick or not work going back in after painting it. I'm now going to take my artichoke milk paint and I'm going to cover the entire piece with this color. I also do the drawers in the same green. This color was very rich, and so it really only took me 2 coats across the entire outside. And for the inside of the drawers, I only needed really 1 coat, and I did go around the fronts with maybe just an extra touch of like a half a coat, I guess. I'm gonna set it aside to dry. I do try to use the heat gun a bit, but I really didn't get as much crackle, and I was okay with that. Milk paint's so unpredictable. You never know what you're going to get. You have to be prepared for whatever happens. And in this case, even though I didn't use any extra bond and even though I had a all-in-one paint underneath, I didn't get as much crackle as I was expecting, but I was okay with that. I still think it came out beautiful. I did paint the top of this box, but I really didn't need to because we're going to come back with another beautiful piece from the Maker's Box and we're going to put something across the top. This is called A Garden Wakes. This is also by the Painted Photographer, and I am in love with this paper. I wish it was something that I could offer on my website. I'm hoping that Connie creates something similar for everybody because it is incredible how gorgeous it is. I am going to paint the entire back of it in a budget-friendly white paint just so that it really stands out and shines when I decoupage it on to my jewelry box. Once that paint is dry, I am going to position that paper onto the top of my jewelry box, and I'm just working out the position that I wanted to keep. I really loved the detail and the kind of abstract colors that are behind the flowers, and I wanted to keep those in, so I decided to, I guess, sacrifice some of the bottom of these beautiful, gorgeous flowers. Once I have it down in the position that I want, I am grabbing my decoupage medium and I am going to begin decoupaging it onto the top of my box. Because I have already painted the back of the decoupage paper, I actually missed the top of the paper to help it lay down. I want it to still be a little bit more pliable, which is why I use the water mister, but I don't want to kind of, I guess, reactivate the paint that is underneath. And so doing it on top or spritzing the top, it allows you to kind of mold the paper a little bit without having any kind of problem with the paint underneath. The other thing that works out really well, and I do want to make sure that so that you're not worried, is spritzing across the top isn't going to impact the quality or any of the detail that is on your paper. It will still work. It does not bleed. It comes out beautiful regardless. I let that dry for several hours and now I'm coming back and I'm going to sand down the edges and then we're going to seal everything up with a clear wax and dark oil wax around the outside. The clear wax I used on the drawers was from DIY, and this dark oil wax is from Sweet Pickins. I'm going to cover the box in this oil wax and then let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes and then wipe back the excess. I did finish off these knobs in Spanish copper rub and buff. For my last project today, I will be upcycling a kind of magazine container or some sort of bin that I got for about $5 at the regular Goodwill. And I am using this gorgeous paper by Recycled Decoupage Paper called Floral Medley Masterboard. This is another one of my absolute favorite papers from this set and probably one of my favorite from any of these boxes that I've gotten this year. I wanted to make sure there were certain elements of this paper that I included on my box, which is underneath. I'm sorry you can't see it right now. But I began by cutting that paper pretty much in half, and I am going to be using one half on either side of my container. With a project like this, you do have to practice a little patience, and that's for a couple reasons. First of all, when you are decoupaging on a larger piece of paper like this, you are going to work in those strips, and you also have to be mindful of those wrinkles. As you smooth things down, sometimes some of the paper might kind of end up in wrinkles, there might be bubbles. I will say that a lot of those do go away as everything dries, but you do have some wiggle room to kind of pick up and lay back down your paper. I would say make sure that you are more experienced in how much you can mess around with the paper because it took me a long time to get to a point where I could do that without ripping my paper. Once I have everything laid down, I have to set this to the side. So typically I will put it to the side, work on other projects, and then come back to this several hours or later or the next day and then do the opposite side. So again, it's a lot of patience, but the end result is very worth it. For the second side that you see here, my star of the show or the thing that I wanted to make sure I kept in this frame, I guess, was those three little butterflies that are in that gingham print on the bottom right-hand side. I absolutely love it. I love the text behind it. That's kind of one of my favorite styles. So I wanted to make sure that that was all the way on this piece. I then do the same thing I did on the other side, using my liquid patina as my decoupage medium, laying down a starter strip, and then misting my paper and slowly smoothing it down. It was about this point in my crafting day that I ended up having an issue with the electricity in my craft room, so I am taking you outside for the next step in this project. While my husband fixes my lights, I am using Prom Queen, which is a DIY paint that came in the maker's box, and I'm going to be painting the inside and the outside sides of the box, as well as the bottom. And I show you just a little smidge of this, and then of course you see Olivia's little feet there. That's because she needed something. So I ended up not recording the rest, but I finished everything off in a polyacrylic sealer, and here's a look at the final project. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I actually didn't get a chance to showcase everything else that I made, but here are a couple photos that you can see. I did use plenty of paper and I have so much left from that box. So please let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, and I hope you have a very happy Monday.